Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our seminars. I appreciate you guys giving me a couple of days to get situated here. Everything seems to be working fine. So again, I appreciate that time that I needed to take to get everything working. But we're back. We're back to doing these seminars on a regular basis. Next one will be on Monday. So I'm going to give a little time for some more people to jump in here. Monday is going to be an important seminar. I'll repeat this a couple times just so the new people are aware. Monday's going to be a good one because we're also going to have Yan available. He won't be on camera, but he will be in the chat. So any questions that you guys want to direct towards Yan on Monday, he will be available for that. So that's exciting to have more people available to take these questions head on in a live format, and you guys steer the conversation. So again, we'll give some more time for some more people to jump in here. I know people may not have been aware that we were going to be jumping in today. So hello, Tipster. Nice of you to jump in here. Appreciate it. One thing I'll just start talking about so we don't have too much dead air. One important, not important, but exciting, important and exciting update that Yan mentioned that he has been working on, or rather testing. And this is directly towards Yan Safe, and that would be multi-wallet support. So two wallets inside the same download. It's in testing. It's something that he's messing around with. It's nowhere near, we're nowhere near bringing that to production, but just keeping you guys updated with the different features that come up in our head and start being worked on. So Yan is one of those individuals that always has different things up his sleeves at different times as far as features that come up and like, hey, we should do this. So really cool stuff there. As far as the NFT and token layer being implemented to PAC protocol, we are still in testnet on that. Again, I've mentioned before, whenever we are ready to produce that live and give that out for the network to choose to update to, I'm not going to issue that here. This is just for us to, well, for me to take on any questions directly. But again, whenever those things are fully ready for us to launch and we feel good to go on what we've done, we'll be announcing that in our official statements across our socials and our website. A couple of things that are included that, I guess technically isn't included in testnet, but simultaneously being worked on is obviously the advancements, improvements, the changes that are going to be needed to both wallets, not just the legacy wallet, but Yan Safe, PAC app. There's a lot of UI involved with that too, because there's no reference to Yan token or any token layer on PAC protocol in these products, right? So that's one thing that I know I haven't really touched on that before, and someone brought it up to me in a DM saying, hey, maybe we should reference this so that people understand why our development process may take time, especially for this one, because it changes the UI of every single product as well. There's a token layer now being implemented in Yan Safe to where you could store your Yan, same as in PAC. And then also, obviously towards yanDNA, where the main feature and use case of Yan token is to be used at. So every single one of those products, whether in full production and out in people's hands now, such as PAC app or Yan Safe, or the products that are in beta, we want to have them all include Yan, obviously. So there is UI work to be done to implement that so that it's usable. So that's just, it plays hand in hand with us working in testnet and making sure that the token layer is sound and ready to go and ready to be presented to the network. But also, the only way that you can present it to the network is you present it with the products that have the UI fit with it. So there is multiple things that are involved in a update that goes towards the PAC protocol blockchain. But they're different, like you don't have to issue a product that has the UI involved, but you can issue a product or issue a network update, I should say. So it's just two at one time. Takes a little bit more time, but we all appreciate you guys being excited about it. And again, being in testnet, I'll mention again, is like towards the end of our development phase. It's testing out all the bugs. We make jokes all the time. We're trying to Yan proof it because Yan is one of the best testers that we have on our team as far as just deep diving into the product, trying to find any bugs or any possible exploits, and then coming up with solutions before we push them live. He has a really good eye for that. So our whole team does, but just giving a little reference there. But again, I do want to mention we have 12 people in here, so the chat does steer the length of these seminars and also our topics of discussion. There was about 2 people in when I first mentioned this. On Monday, it's going to be a pretty fun seminar to be present at, especially for myself because we will have Yan present. He'll be in the chat. So he won't be on camera, but he'll be in the chat. So if there's any questions that you want to direct towards him, he'll be available to land those himself via the chat. And that'll be at the same time as normal, 3 Eastern time on Monday. We do have our first question from Paul. Thank you. The ROI for a Masternode is about 6 years. Are there plans of making the project more interesting for investors that are into crypto for earning money? At this point, yield farming is more profitable. I mean, that's a personal take on using cryptocurrency for financial gain. I'm not going to get involved in like discussing those topics. What I will mention is the first sentence that you said, the ROI for a Masternode is about 6 years. That is not static. It depends on how you're viewing it. If you're viewing it ROI as in the amount of time it takes me to get 500,000 PAC coins back from the node network, the reward earning metric, okay, I could see what you mean by that. But it could also be perceived a different way where ROI is based off of your own personal, value of what you invested to acquire your Masternode. So if you were to acquire a Masternode of 500,000 coins at, let's just use the, what is the price? Now I believe it's like, over $1,000 or so, something like that. And the price were to increase, your ROI based off your own personal perception would be returned a lot quicker based off the value of PAC's increase. But if we're talking just simply Masternode rewards 500,000 PAC to redeem 500,000 PAC via rewards, that 6 years could be wildly different because that would be assuming that the Masternode network has never grown or the reward length has never grown or been lengthened, or vice versa, that the network isn't changed by then, that the reward system could be different within the next 6 years based off of general consensus, majority consensus for updates that get pushed to the network. We've had those before in the past. For those that are new, there's been updates that have been posted to the PAC network that have even increased the amount of rewards that masternodes were receiving based off of their workload at the time. And then there has been updates that have well, not most recent, but the reward that is now for masternodes, that's the most recent change, and that actually decreased the amount that masternodes were receiving based off of the change from proof of work mining to proof of stake. It was too much inflation for what was being done on the network at that time. So that stuff can always be changed. There's always updates that can always be presented to the network. And if the masternode owners, the ones that need to update their full nodes, their full masternodes for majority consensus, they are the ones that agree to that. So that is that's a question really perceived based off of, what you view as valuable or how you're looking for a return. But that gets a little bit into the realm of just viewing crypto as a guarantee return for your investment, which is not something that we push obviously here, at least myself. PAC protocol is a open source decentralized network that we have expressed and advertised and branded to be a decentralized layer, the architectural structure for decentralized products to grow on top of. That can be kind of clearly seen with the IPFS product that we're attaching to this network called yanDNA, and that is to use the structure of this network. You have 22,000 plus nodes that are available for these individual owners to attach secondary software on top of their servers and be part of providing a use case based off of the structure that they've built. So being a part of a network like that, you're bringing more value as far as more uses. And theoretically, you could also bring more value to the network as well with these products actually being used in production. Creation of staking pools. Staking pools are entirely possible right here now. No protocol changes need to be done. If there's a, I think there already are. If not, there have in the past where there was staking websites or project. I don't know. That's a completely different thing of what we do. We do not, we don't have a, PAC Global Holdings LLC endorsed staking pool. But it is entirely possible now. It's just that's a completely it's not a trustless service. You have to send in coins to be part of something unless you change the overall structure of the network to where you can delegate your coins towards a specific provider without actually sending them, which is kind of how Flare's validators for voting works, is like you delegate your coins towards a validator without actually physically sending them. So you're not like worried that your coins can never be recovered or that the person that you're trusting with them, they get hacked or they do something, like with your funds. But there are definitely third parties that are provided. Yeah, Kuhn just mentioned it in the chat there. StakeCube, that's a third party provider where you could send in your PAC and you could be part of a stake pool. Absolutely 100% entirely possible now, but it is not a trustless thing. You have to physically send your coins. So that would be a cool feature to add into the network at one point. We could definitely explore that. The availability of, I guess, being a part of a staking pool without actually physically sending them, but delegating your inputs. It's kind of how that would be working on the blockchain side. But there would have to be some, what's the word? Checks and balances to make sure that that's possible and it's how the network's supposed to be working. Another thing about PAC though, I will mention, and it's probably why it's just not really going to be relevant for staking pools, is the weight of like the amount of PAC that is staking should not have an impact on whether or not you receive coins quicker than someone else. So the minimum to stake is 100 PAC, if I'm correct. I might be wrong on that. It might be actually 250. Sorry about that. The reward is 100 PAC. If you have 250 PAC and you're staking that to try and receive, 100 PAC in return, and someone else had 25,000 PAC, they should not have a better chance of being rewarded. That's something that we want to make sure is like very recognized on our network, that it's not the rich get richer and the one, kind of like that. As far as supply goes, not talking monetary value, but just control of the network. More supply of the network does give you more control of the network based off of how you use it. If you're using it for the best advantage of the network, then you will have a decent amount of say so in what the network's doing. But that has to be used in the best interest of the network. So it's all personal decision on those things. Hi, Jeff. Thank you for the question. When yanDNA goes live and Yan tokens are awarded to Masternode holders, those could be sold to generate revenue for the Masternode holders, correct? I mean, it's a token. It's a token like any other token that people are associated with. Obviously, once it's listed on some exchanges, you will have the availability of sending that token as you can. PAC, sending it to an exchange and giving the opportunity for someone else to acquire Yan for storage purposes. That is completely up to your decision. Again, guys, we need to be very clear on this. I will never directly talk about anything connected to PAC if it contains the words revenue, profit, return of investment. That's not what this network is. This network's not a security. It's not something that is supposed to be advocated as, oh, do this and you will earn this. There are many use cases and advantages of being part of a blockchain provided technology that is decentralized, so it's not controlled by an entity. There's obvious benefits that are part of being a part of a supply that is limited, that is not controlled, that has to be actually put to use, which directly correlates to a value of a cryptocurrency. That's just a known fact. But we will never, and I will never tout PAC as something to, you will be getting X amount of return if you do this. That's not how this network works, because I can't speak for that. We have to only advocate the use cases that this network can do, and then put this network and the brand in the places that it gets recognized, and then those uses actually get put to use, and ultimately that could benefit a lot of other things. Just to be transparent. I see a question in Discord. Sorry for the quiet. It was just sometimes I've been noticing that questions get sent over here instead of the chat for some reason, which on normal occasion, I'm not normally going to be answering questions that come in here because that's what the live seminar is for people to be present in these. And if they can't, they're recorded and maybe at some point they'll be able to participate. But there is some questions in here, such as any updates about new exchange? No, there are no updates right now as far as anything being announced. And again, the reason for that is I'm not going to be the one that updates on these live. That'll be done with our official socials. Oh yeah, yeah. The most I can say on that, Tipster, Jay was congratulating you for the work this week. Could you give us some insight? What happened? Well, first and foremost, the thing that we've constantly, and I've said many times, is that we are in the midst of our largest update, the most innovative update that we've ever presented for PAC. It is a token layer for this network that is not to be like completely undervalued. It's very important. We really think it's going to bring a lot of benefits to this network, not only yanDNA, but then also the availability for when this one launches and we update it further, people will be able to create their own projects, their own supplies of tokens, blah, 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 on PAC protocol now. And the best thing about that is we would then be the largest network that can provide that as far as servers available to support this. So that is a huge development that we are working on weekly. A lot of work has gone into that. So definitely maybe review some of the past seminars and you can get some more insight on what we have discussed on that. We are in testnet right now still. And again, as I mentioned, that there is UI improvements to all the products required for Yan token to be added to it, because so far all the products only include PAC, as that's obvious. So there's some UI work to be done as well, and that's being done, synchronized. And we also have some private dealings. As a development company, we have different things that we do, different partners that we approach, or possible partners that we approach, offer them our abilities, this network's abilities, our abilities as developers, our knowledge on the space, and then try and white glove service them into the space. We have a lot of things that we do like that I don't talk about here because it's just not time to, and I'm not bound to do that because that's a lot of those things don't, they're just not allowed NDA discussions, and also it might not be PAC related at this time, so it's just not really needed. But we've been working a lot these last couple of weeks on a couple different fronts to bring more recognition to PAC, bring more users to PAC, and then also our Yan token development and that token layer, all the UI work that's involved in it. It's been a lot of work at the beginning of this week. So Jay was probably reaching out, recognizing that, because we discuss things pretty much every other day. If I'm not too overwhelmed in one day with all the different work and different angles that we're going. So we've just been putting on a lot of hours lately, trying to get some things out for you guys. And it's been a little tiring, but it's all worth it. It's all rewarding in the end. Okay, we are at the 20 minute mark. We have 17 people in here. If any one of you guys have a question to continue the seminar, feel free to post it if you feel comfortable. But if not, no big deal. We will be doing these again starting on Monday. And that's an important one to be a part of if you're able to be present. 3 o'clock Eastern time. Yan will be available to also field some of the questions if you have any directly towards him. He will not be on camera, but he will be in the chat. So that'll be a fun seminar for all of us to be a part of. Actually, I may move that to Wednesday because Wednesday has become Yan Day, Frog Day. So maybe we'll put him on Wednesday. I'll talk to him, see if he's available. But Monday, we have already discussed, is good to go. So plan on Monday. Maybe we'll move it to Wednesday. Maybe we'll do both days. Yeah, and if thank you, Jesus, for that question. With the rollout of yanDNA NFT capability, would NFT drop for Masternode operators be possible? Yes, definitely possible. Would it be done at the exact same time? Probably not, because it's just that would be adding to the workload again. But yeah, that'd be a really cool thing to do, where you're able to take all those Masternode addresses that are being rewarded, which you could locate via scanning the blockchain. And you could create NFTs, a series, and deliver them to the addresses on your own accord. Anyone can do that, and us as an LOC, we could also do that if we choose to. That would be a fun thing to participate in. And hint, probably already on the list of things that we want to do, because we want to showcase the capabilities of NFTs. And yanDNA is an optional part of that. Like, you don't have to store your NFT in yanDNA. It will be correlated into that update to where an NFT is minted and it is put over there. But you have your own individual account as well that you have to keep account of if you want to. So, but doing an NFT drop would be really cool. And it's something that we've talked about. I've mentioned that our creative designers team has grown quite a bit, specifically for reasons for NFTs, for our upcoming new website. Speaking of, well, I don't have that email open right now, but I was looking at our time frame for our website updates, and I believe it was like for the next phase that we were completing, before, like, it's broken up into phases so that we can approve each phase and then move on. I think it was like 2 weeks for this current phase that we're on, which is phase 3, and phase 4 would be the completion of it, which would probably take another 3 weeks after that. So again, that's not timelines to be stuck in concrete, but it's our most up to date as far as like words directly from the developers involved. PAC awareness program over? Nope, not at all. We fielded a lot of questions, sometimes actually a lot of negativity. I will not lie. It was kind of disheartening that a lot of the brand awareness that we were doing, people were nonstop negative commenting on, oh, you're in beta, you should wait till everything's done. Like, that happened quite a bit. I noticed it, I heard it. So brand awareness requires us to provide the budget and us to do it. So we do that on our own accord to bring more awareness to this network. So based off of the feedback that I got last time, that it wasn't the right time because the other products needed to be finished or updates, blah, blah, blah. I took that to heart personally, because, I put my heart into PAC, and bringing awareness here is part of that. So with our updates wrapping up, and we have NFT production coming here, and again, I have other business dealings that we can't talk about, that are private. We have to time things perfectly. And then you also have to correlate that with the market sentiment, not just for PAC, but just the entire space, because people are going to look at the space like they look at the overall, market of crypto. If Bitcoin, for example, decides to plummet a lot, the overall sentiment drops quite a bit. And we've noticed that recently, not just, for Bitcoin, but just in a lot of different spaces, especially recently in the DeFi space, a lot of nonsense happening there. That's why we're not involved in that space. And you have to just time things so that your brand awareness is actually bringing the right awareness at that time. A lot of things are still going, like our recent PR releases that have been dropped on Newswire, Yahoo Finance, still bringing the brand awareness here. But there are things that are planned. Sometimes pandemic has delayed things, like our most recent event that we were going to attend. It was canceled due to COVID outbreak. More actually moved to an online event instead of in person, and it was to be in the Hollywood industry. Very good spot for us to be a part of, but not necessarily if it was just online, not for the money that was being requested. So we just got to be smart with where we put our budget and the timing. So those are things that are all included, especially our updates, and that's all that we're focused on right now, so that when we do push that brand awareness, we're not hearing like we did recently that, oh, it's not the right time, you should be better. Like, can't please everyone. So I'll attempt to, but you just gotta let us try. A supernode project, can it restore? I'm not sure what you mean by that. You will have to elaborate a little bit on that. How would cross-chain NFT work? I don't know how to answer that question fully, Jesus, because I don't think that that's possible. You can mint an NFT on different chains that support, NFTs, but the only way that you would have to, I guess, I honestly have no idea about wrapping an NFT to be able to Like you mint it, let's say you mint it on PAC and then there's a bridge for Ethereum. Can you wrap an NFT to be? I don't think it works like that with NFTs. I think that's just supply because that's messing with a lot of different variables at that point. So me personally, I have no idea. I don't think that is possible. I haven't seen that, but maybe it is. Maybe that'll be a question that we can land next week. Hi, Tipster. Yeah, I know that you have been present in a lot of these seminars, or at least a couple of them before. So exchanges have definitely come up. I will say the same thing I've said every time. I cannot control the requirements to get on these exchanges. Some of the large exchanges, if not every one, requires actual reported volume for what is occurring at this current time. They could say, we want $500,000 and we want 5 million of daily volume for what is currently trading with PAC. We can provide the budget, but we cannot provide the volume because we can't speak for what happens on a decentralized exchange. We're not going to manually force volume and fake it. That's up to the users. So there are different different things that have to be reached. And also, again, market sentiment too. You have to put that in part of like when's the right time. But again, if it's not the right time and you have the availability, absolutely, we would push for it. But that one requirement of volume, we cannot control that, guys. So I've said that a lot of times. We cannot control the reported volume. It needs to be natural. And that's what the purpose of bringing different use cases to this network, bringing different token layers to this network, and making it available for it to grow. That's on the people, though, of whether or not it does as far as market volume reporting. And that's not a negative thing. That's just what these people, like, exchanges are businesses. People have to understand that, especially not especially even the decentralized ones, but especially the central exchanges. They completely rely on exchange activity, trading, exchange fees, transaction fees, their own added fees to the different transactions. That's how they make their money. That's So they're not going to be playing ball with, oh, we'll list you, we'll take your, $500,000, but we have requirements that you have to meet. And if you're not going to meet them, then you will be delisted. So it's kind of scary for us to, as, representatives of a company that wants to get PAC protocol decentralized network available on different exchanges. And we're providing a budget to do so. But if those requirements are not met, then everything goes, upside down. They say, okay, you didn't reach requirements for volume, so we're going to delist you. And I'm never going to be involved in like trying to manipulate that. That has to be fair and it has to be natural. yanDNA's completion mug would be at the end of the token layer going live on the network. That has to happen first. No point in building yanDNA to completion and releasing that prior to you even being able to deposit yan to accumulate storage space. So that has to go first. That's what we're working on. Our last update that we have on that, like, we're in testnet, we're going week to week, and it could be when we're complete, ready to go, we'll start prepping our socials, our marketing campaign for it, just awareness to the community campaign, and it'll probably be 2 weeks from that point, maybe just 1 week from that point. But when we get to that point, we'll release it on socials so that you guys are aware. We're still aiming for this quarter for all of that stuff to go together, including the bridges on Ethereum and Binance Smart Chain. Those are things that were added to our roadmap, things that we thought were beneficial, especially with this token layer coming up. So, things change in this space, especially timelines when it comes to developing innovative products, things that you can't copy and paste. If you were to ask me, how do I, what's the timeline of just making a fork of Bitcoin? I could tell you tomorrow. But the timeline of innovating PAC protocol to a token layer, our own solutions for the different known token layer issues out there already. So we had to change a lot of the internal coding to make it very custom. The NFT layer, the different additions to the quorum so that we don't have the POS ban situation going haywire because of how large this Masternode network's growing. A lot of different variables involved in this network update. So we try and stick to our goals that are part of our roadmap, but sometimes they just take a little longer. And, that is a good thing because it means that we're doing our due diligence and making sure that it's operating as it should. So we're still aiming for this quarter, and hopefully, maybe next week. That's why I'm saying Monday's a very important seminar to be a part of. You'll all be able to hear a lot of good news based off of how things go this weekend. Caleb Brown, thank you for your question. What's your opinion on getting crypto YouTube channels like Crypto Banter and BitBoy to educate people about PAC? My opinion on that, and it's not necessarily opinion, it's just a fact. Myself, as owner and founder of my company, PAC Global Holdings LLC, we build products on top of PAC protocol. I cannot legally go out and ask someone or pay someone to promote something that's part of something that I'm building. Just can't do it. So, and I won't do it. That's why it hasn't happened. A lot of those things, a lot of people like that, not talking anything negative about these people, I'm just assuming how they are approached is probably approached by individuals that want them to recognize something. Probably not being approached by actual companies. That would be very dangerous. It would put those people at risk of manipulating. There's been a lot of news on certain celebrities that are being kind of, pinpoint and put a flashlight on as far as like market manipulation, telling people to get involved, influencing. That's why you can't do that, because it's not a security. It's not is legal for people to do, especially if they have a large platform. People can do it individually, talking to your friends, talking to your parent, or whatever, like whatever it is, talking to your family. But if you're in a position of I'm going to influence something and I'm going to pay them, it's very, very illegal. You can get a lot of trouble. That's why we don't do that. What you said is like perfect. To educate, that is something to keep in mind on. If it's to promote, a little different. But if it's to educate, maybe it's like you got to be strategic with it. It would definitely require a lot more time than normally those kind of channels give towards specific projects. Because if you're gearing them to teach people, like educate, and not even tell them to like get to be interested, but just showcase what is possible, maybe their own personal, opinion on that network, you still cannot pay that person to do that. It would have to still be on their own accord, if that makes sense. Yeah, Paul, absolutely. Is it possible to post one social statement per day? Yep, absolutely. I'm not the one that puts out all our statements. Kuhn actually runs our Twitter along with some others that help with some graphics on it and coordinating the verbiage for it. We are pretty active as it is, but thank you for the hint. Maybe we can do a little more on that. All right, gentlemen, we are at the, well, I would say ladies and gentlemen, because I don't know who's in the chat. We are at the 36-minute and 50-second mark. If anyone has any final questions before we wrap up today's stream, today's seminar, please post them in the chat. Give a couple seconds, a minute or two to see if anything comes in. If not, we'll end it today. But I will remind everyone that Monday, if you can attend, I would recommend it. Yan will be available to field some questions in the chat. He won't be on video, but he will be in the chat. So just another great opportunity to directly give your voice to the developers involved here. Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate everyone being here, and you guys enjoy your weekend and look forward to Monday. That'll be our 12th live seminar. And again, Yan will be there to field some questions as well as myself. So enjoy your weekend, and I appreciate you guys being here.